Hi, I'm here. I don't know why I'm acting weird, but I just filmed this look and I really like it. Let me just. Okay, so it's kind of a berry smokier thing, but it's simple. I feel like I've been doing these really simple looks on my channel, and I hope you like them because it's what I've been doing. And I did like bold brows, I did some contouring, lots of highlight, dark lips. I feel like it's once I have my glasses on, it's kind of like emo librarian, and I kind of like it. I like this look a lot. And I used the new WnW Au Naturel palette. You can see I really like Wet n Wild shadows. I keep this in my top drawer. And so here is the new palette. I know it's not the same as their old palettes, and I was like, I don't know. But so far, so good. I really liked it. This one is Nude Awakening. But, you know, it's not about the name of the palette, it's about how it works for you. And for me, it worked fine. I used some pinks, some browns, you know, the usual. No serious liner, like I didn't do like a winged liner or anything. I just used a little bit of the shadow from the palette to kind of pack on some liner, and I feel like it worked fine. It didn't really do much. You can skip that step, that's what I'm saying. And you know, I guess that's all I have to say. I feel like I always get going and then I don't stop, but we got it. It's good. So, hope you like it. Okay, so I'm trying out this brush, not necessarily because of what the brush, like what the brand is, but just because of it's one of those weird like toothbrush brushes. But I'm just putting this footage in so you can kind of see how it's working. It felt kind of weird, but I might do a follow-up and talk about that later because it was my first time using it. But I wanted to say that I'm not gonna sit here and be like, this is what product I'm using now, because I realize that when I watch tutorials, I don't really decide to go out and buy a product because of seeing it one time in a tutorial. So I will put the shadows that I used, because it's from palette, I'll put the numbers of the ones I used in the description if you want to refer back. But other than that, I won't post what I used unless someone asks for it, because I just feel like it's kind of a waste. But here you see I'm cleaning off my eyebrows because I got foundation in them. And then I actually put in footage of me doing my eyebrows, and I used the double-ended e.l.f. eyebrow brush. And I actually struggled a little bit doing my brows. You'll see as the footage continues, but I don't know if it was the brush or if it was my pomade, because I usually use a different brush. So I don't know. But yeah, I have my powder brows that I do in my brow tutorial, and then I have these brows. And I actually usually don't add powder on the ends like I am here, but I was having a little bit of skippage on that tail of my brow, so I added the powder to kind of correct that. But yeah, these are my really straight, really sharp, more defined brows, because this is a more intense look. This is maybe the most intense look I've posted, but I'm planning on posting more intense looks, so be on the lookout for me being intense. Also, do you like my headband? I'm just wearing it to keep my hair out of my face. Also, it makes me feel like a princess a little bit, but you know, that's beside the point. And we're done with brows. Jumping right in, I talked about the palette in the beginning, so I'm not going to again, and I was pointing to my transition shade. So I'm using that as my transition shade. A lot of times in my other videos, you've seen me use a bronzer, but this one is straight from the palette. I'm trying to break out of old habits. And then I'm taking a flat brush, and it's kind of a taupey pink. And once again, the shades are numbered, so I will list the numbers of the shades from this palette that I used. And at first, when I was using this, I thought maybe it just wasn't pigmented, and you can see that when I use my finger, it kind of worked a little bit more, but it's kind of just the color. It's kind of like a taupey pink, so it's more natural than the pinks I usually use. So I was just like, am I not getting pigmentation, or is it just more like beigey than pinks I normally use. So then I'm going in with that cranberry color. This is kind of the whole reason I got the palette, because of this color. And you can see that it's not coming off as red, as quite as cranberry as I expected to. And then the more I blend and the more I add, the more it kind of goes away. But I mean, it's okay. I still like the look, but if you are like, ooh, I like the red in that palette, and then you get the palette and you take it home and it's not red anymore, that's kind of sad. So you can see that I'm blending here. I'm blending. And I'm using, the pink brushes are from a BH Cosmetics set, but as I was doing this, I realized that the other brush that I use and this one remind me of the e.l.f. $1 ones, the crease one and the blending one, so that's fun. Those are always good, I feel like, those $1 e.l.f. brushes. So there you can see. The other one was shorter and fatter, and this one is a little bit thinner and longer. And I'm putting that darkish gray color on my lower lash line. And I feel like I usually don't do a lot of lower lash line lower lash line work, but this is kind of tying in the smokiness on the upper lid with the bottom lid. And then you can see I'm adding the gray to the top lid to make it even more cohesive. I like a cohesive eye look, if you haven't noticed. And then I'm actually taking that a little bit on the lash line just to get a little bit of definition down there. Actually later, like way later, I put some shadow on my upper lid, lash line, on my upper lid's lash line, but you can see that it's not necessary, but I know some people are really into like the tight lining thing, so I was like, I'll just do it for this video as like a replacement of like winged liner or something. So I'm taking a pencil brush, and this color is kind of bronzy, and I thought that would be nice to add a little bit of warmth, since the look is like grays and pinks and that cranberry-y color. And if you've seen my other videos, you probably noticed that I really like to do a lot of blending and a lot of diffusing with my eye looks. So I think I might have to force myself to do like a cut crease or something, because I have like my style of the really diffused crease colors. And then I'm moving on to my face. I'm putting on some blush, and that's just NYX one. Oh, and I'm putting on some bronzer. This is the bronzer I usually use as my transition shade. And then I'm doing some contouring. And here I'm doing a little bit of tighliner. I mixed like a black and a gray just to make my little eyeliner color. And you can see that does give a little bit of definition to the eye, but for me it's not so much that it would be necessary to do with a look like this again. So here you can see I'm putting on some mascara. I didn't even curl my lashes, I just put on the mascara. I felt like, even though this look is kind of like pretty and glamorous, I felt like I didn't need to have like my lashes all fanned out and perfect. Like you see, I didn't comb through them either, like sometimes I do. So just a little subtle lash look here. And then I'm going in with a brown lip liner. Ow. I don't know if you heard me just smack my laptop, but I did. So you can see that it's taking me a while to line my lips. My lips are uneven, so it takes me a minute to try and work with things. And then I'm using an Ulta matte lip cream. I'm going to try and use different colors more, because I use the artistic one like every day, but here I'm using a darker red one. And then I'm adding a little bit more contour. I saw after I had my lips on, I was like, wow, I could bump up my contours a little bit. So I did. Now I'm adding a little bit more highlighter, even though I put on highlighter in the beginning. And then I'm doing my brow bone highlight. Some extra blending, and then that's the finished look, but I just put a little clip in my hair because I'm always messing with my hair in my intros and outros. So I hope you liked it. That's the end. Bye-bye. Okay, so that's the end of the look, the video, the tutorial. I hope you liked it. I like it, so I hope you like it. And that's all. I will link my Tumblrs, because I always do. I have two. Actually, I have more than two, but I have two that I will link you. And that's about it. If you have any requests, leave them for me, and I will do them. I will do the requests. So